Hello and welcome again to Arts Alive here on MCM. I'm your host, Walt Haight, and today we're going to be talking theater again here in McMinnville at Gallery Theater. We're going to be talking about an upcoming production of The Sound of Music. And with me here today to share all the facts about Sound of Music is director Seth Renne, who's also the manager of Gallery Theater, and Alison Bean, who is making her first appearance on the gallery stage. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
You know, but before we get really into this, it just occurred to me that whoever decided to put Sound of Music in this particular time slot, absolute genius, because we're just coming out of this pandemic. We've got a big splashing musical for everyone to come back to, and I foresee great things as far as big audiences coming back to theater after so long on the main stage, so we can put a lot of people in there. So who gets the credit for that?
It's certainly what we were hoping for. I guess I would have to take a decent amount of credit for proposing the show for this time slot and being on the place selection committee, determining where shows go in the season. It just felt, we were really hoping that by this point in the pandemic we'd be to a place where we could do a bigger show. It was a risk. Even at the time of auditions going into it, we were uncertain what we were looking at, and we're very pleased that we're able to put this up and be there with a big show.
I'll say, but I think the timing is absolutely marvelous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, you know, I did look around at some of the other theaters that are in the area. Theater in the Grove up in Forest Grove is doing Mamma Mia, and they're doing Matilda in Corvallis, but none of the other theaters are really taking that bold step.
Yeah, we are particularly suited to be able to do a bigger show because of the setup of our main stage. Being a traditional proscenium theater, much like Theater in the Grove, it's going to be harder for some of the smaller places, or like Pentacle Theater, where they're in a 3/4 thrust and you're much closer to your audience.
Yeah, I checked their schedule, and they're, you know, just, I think by the end of the year they're doing a small musical, Small Fantastics, which is, you know, not big and splashy like Sound of Music, but it seems like they're staying a little bit on the cautious
side.
They're
tiptoeing in. They've got 12th Night coming up, which is a decent sized cast, but still not music.
So you have obviously you've got a big cast for Sound of Music, and you've brought one of your actors today. Let's say hello to Alison Bean. Hi.
Hi.
So you're fairly new to McMinnville, and this is your first experience on the main stage here?
Yes, this is my first gallery show. I'm very, very excited.
Fantastic. So where did you come from?
Well, I moved here to Oregon from Idaho, and before then from California.
Oh, okay. And you're playing?
Liesel.
Liesel, the eldest of the Von Trapp children.
She's the 16-year-old.
The 16-year-old going
on 17.
Going on 17. Right. So everything been, it's kind of a leading question, and everything going smoothly?
I am thrilled to say yes.
Good.
We are currently still about 3 weeks from opening and in a really good spot. We're running large chunks of the show already and putting it all together, and I get to be nitpicky already as a director, which
Excellent.
is an absolute joy.
At this point in the rehearsal process, that's great. And we'll be talking about the dates here coming up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about the cast. We have Alison here, of course, who's playing Liesel, And we have some veterans, some new people.
Yeah, it's a pretty good mix of some gallery veterans, some stage veterans, and some brand new, even first time on any stage performers. We've got, everybody knows Lance Nutman as our Captain Von Trapp. Maria is a wonderful actress named Stephanie Gibbs. She was last seen on the gallery stage as Stephanie Spencer in Peter and the Starcatcher.
Okay.
She has since been married and has come back and is just an absolute dream to work with. We've got Meredith Simons, as many people will know, as Frau Schmidt, the housekeeper, a role that she also played in The Sound of Music back in the 2000 production.
I remember it well.
We've got Joseph Cannon, who was just recently seen in My Way as Allie's boyfriend, Rolf.
And who played Lumiere.
He was Lumiere in Our Beauty and the Beast, the last big musical we did before shutdown.
Seems like ages ago.
It really does. To think about it in terms of when that actually happened was.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Maria as far as the time between Starcatcher, and you said, well, she's got married. I was thinking she could have a family by now.
Yeah,
it seems that long.
It's been some time. And then
how about the Baroness?
The Baroness is Emily Matsuda.
Ah, yes.
She was recently in My Way. She's been in a number of our cabaret events, in a few shows also.
Beautiful voice. I'm sure your cast is full of people with tremendous voices.
Yeah, when you think about, if you know any of our performers, it probably will mean a little more to you, but when you think about that, we call them the Nuntet. It's the Reverend Mother and the three nuns that join her, and they do the How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria scene and all of that. When you consider that our Reverend Mother is Cara Coelho, and then our three other nuns are Dawn Graf Haight, who I believe you know fairly well.
A little bit, yeah.
Karen Cumley and Melissa Thomas. Three people who have played principal roles in multiple shows, and they are some of the supporting smaller roles in this one.
That's quite a lineup for the nuns. Actually, of all things, it reminds me of being a sports fan. The 1927 Yankees, known as Murderers Row. You've got a Murderers Row of nuns up there.
Yeah.
You should hear them.
Their first rehearsal, it was mind-blowing. You were there.
I was there. I was like blown away.
Well, let's talk about the kids.
All right.
My siblings.
Your siblings.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Liesel, Allie here.
Yes.
Next down is Friedrich, played by a young man from Salem named Camden.
Camden Chalk.
Camden Chalk.
Oh, so he's making the commute.
He's making the commute.
We
It'll be
carpool.
his gallery debut. After that is Luisa, Daphne Riddle, who you will remember from our stint with her in White Christmas.
Yeah.
She is now graduating from high school and going to go off and take the world by storm. Right below that is Kurt, who is played by Daphne's real-life brother, Henry Riddle.
Okay.
So we got the real siblings there. And then next is Brigitte, which is Liliana. And she is making her gallery stage debut. She was most recently seen as Annie in Annie at Enlightened Theatrics in Salem.
Wow.
Just below that is Marta, and that is Esther. And Esther's father is in the show also. He's playing Franz the butler, Travis. This is her first time on stage anywhere. And then, of course, the youngest, Gretel. We have Annika Bjorlin. Her mother is playing a nun in the show also, Dominique. And Annika is our 6-year-old little superstar making her very flashy stage debut.
Well, Alison, tell me a little bit about interacting with the rest of the Von Trapp kids. Do you have time together off stage, or have you gotten to know them particularly well?
Yeah. I think that Seth did a brilliant job casting, and we kind of have this like magical family bond already. It was really natural and really fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have, I mean, kids of, right down to, well, how old is the youngest?
The youngest is 6 years old, and Allie is our oldest at 27.
Yeah, and I'm just reminded of, it can be a challenge working with a lot of kids.
Yes, it can be. We have been blessed with mostly very well-behaved children. They all have their moments of being kids.
Including me.
Absolutely. Including me at times. But I was just talking to Melissa Thomas, who's our music director also, yesterday about our second youngest, Esther. She's 9 years old in real life and knows every word of the show, as a lot of younger performers do.
Yes, indeed.
But she also has a maturity about her that I've been able to have the 6-year-old stand with her, and she can give just a little tap on the shoulder and make sure that the 6-year-old's doing her part also.
Fantastic, good.
So I've been really lucky that I can put our youngest one with any of the other kids, and they've got her back, and they're ready to just be like, okay, time to go.
Well, I promised that we were going to talk about dates, so let's talk about when Sound of Music is going to be running.
Yeah, so we open on April 29th,
okay,
and we will run through May 22nd.
Okay, so that's 4 weekends.
4 weekends, 12 performances.
What some people might not yet realize is that now Gallery is closing, their closing shows are
Matinees.
on a Sunday. So if you're accustomed to having shows close on Saturday, keep in mind the final show is going to be a matinee here. So 4 weekends, so that's a dozen performances.
12 performances.
Right. You have any doubling going on?
We do have 2 understudies that will go on for the Friday the 13th performance. That was inadvertent that it was Friday the 13th. But Daphne Riddle, who plays Luisa in the show, is understudying for Liesel, so she will go on that night. Okay. And then Daphne has an understudy, Lee Thomas, is going to go on as Luisa that performance.
Okay. Well, good. So we get a few more people.
Yeah.
Getting to do some diverse things.
Yeah. At a time of casting during a COVID show, it felt important to be ready to have somebody that could step into pretty much any role. Right. And so it felt necessary, and we were really lucky to get such talented people that were willing to do that.
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned COVID. Let's talk a little bit about requirements. I mean, we're coming out of the pandemic now, but we have some policies that I believe are still in place.
Yeah,
at
so
the theater.
We are still requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours of the performance. You can do a rapid test, but you would just bring that unused test down to the theater and take it there so we can verify who it is that has taken it. And other than that, masking is optional at this point. It is encouraged, but not required. And we've even gone so far now as to open the concession stand and wine bar back up.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I don't know about you. I'm still a little bit want to be on the cautious side, so you'll see me with a mask on down there.
Very often can be found wearing a mask at Gallery Theater myself.
So patrons will be welcomed when they enter with a station.
A station to check in, there'll be hand sanitizer, and there will be disposable masks available there if they would like to pick one up.
Excellent. Okay, so Sound of Music is what we're three weeks away, and we're in good shape, so it's time to get back into that theater, folks. We've got a big main stage. We seat
240 people.
240 people. Time to get back down to the theater. So thanks for being here. Nice to meet you, Alison.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Seth, good to see you as always.
Always.
And I'll see you at the theater.